Den Film, den Sie jetzt sehen werden, das ist der Wettbewerbsbeitrag aus dem Kosovo und Albanien. Freuen wir uns sehr darauf. Deutscher Titel ist Die Ehe, Martesa im Original, und die Regisseurin wird nachher hier sein, Blerta Zeqiri. Sie ist geboren in Pristina und ist Regisseurin und Drehbuchautorin. Und ja, sie ist während des Kosovo-Krieges nach Frankreich gegangen, um dort in Paris Film zu studieren, und war dann damit sehr erfolgreich bereits, weil ihre ersten kurzen und mittellangen Filme direkt auf über 100 internationalen Filmfestivals liefen. Das, was wir jetzt sehen, Die Ehe, das ist ihr Langfilmdebüt, und wir sind sehr, sehr froh, den Film hier zeigen zu dürfen. Der ebenfalls angekündigte Hauptdarsteller, Genç Salihu, ist leider krank geworden, lässt sich entschuldigen, aber wie gesagt, die Regisseurin ist nachher hier und wir führen auf Englisch dann ein Publikumsgespräch. For all English-speaking guests, we have the director here after the film and we'll have a talk in English afterwards. So enjoy the screening, einen schönen Film ab für Die Ehe. Welcome the director, Blerta Zeqiri. So great to have you here with this wonderful movie. It's such an atmosphere you're creating. I really loved watching it. I think you experienced the same thing. How did you get into such a story, and how did you make it with so much energy?
Well, let's say the inspiration came from two friends of mine. One which was my friend who had 2 children, and only after that she realized that her husband was gay. And another friend, a very close friend of mine, who was gay and who was dealing with this society pressure that is in Kosovo to get married and to get settled down. And even though this friend of mine was coming from a very emancipated family, and his family was kind of accepting him, but still the society was doing so much pressure to him to get married that he had to leave the country. So these were like the stories that were really near me and that I cared a lot, and I wanted to tell them. I mean, this was just, let's say, the beginning of the story, but then everything is made up, and actually it's not really made up, but we
based
kind of
on a true story.
Based on a true story, and then we kind of went, in order to try and make it as real as possible, their love, we went back and searched in our loves of our lives and kind of put it there. So a lot of scenes there are scenes that happen to us. Yeah.
I think that's why this film works so universal, because it's about love and it can happen everywhere. I think how you show it, when we are so close to the people in their family relationships or their relationships in between. The camera is always very close and the music is very atmospheric. Can you tell us about how you wanted to have it with the camera and music and stuff? Did you have some music even in the scenes, maybe?
For me, it was really important that to make this film look real, as if it was, let's say, close to documentary filmmaking. So that's why we chose to have the camera handheld and moving and not very stable. But at the same time, we wanted to work a little better on the lights, so that so that the film doesn't look just as a documentary film, even though now there's really no difference between documentaries and fiction films.
But it hasn't been improvised, or in a way.
Actually, the process of writing the script was really long, because we involved the actors in the beginning when we only had the synopsis of the film. We still didn't have not even a first draft of the film yet. So what we did is I wrote this film together with the producer, who's also the editor of the film, and my husband. So we wrote this film together, And what we would do is we would write, for example, a first draft of script, and we would bring the actors together and do like intensive 2 to 3 days workshops with them, where we would read the script, see what's working and what's not, and then try and improvise different scenes that we would film just for us, for our use. And we would go back and look into what we filmed, and then if we loved something, we would pick that from that improvisation. And so it was really a long process of writing the script. We did this like 3 years, let's say, 4 or 5 times with actors and many times just us.
Before you can ask questions, I of course have to ask you for these actors when you're telling about them. Anita, Becky, Noel, you found really great protagonists. How did you find them? Was there a casting in Kosovo? How did you, or where did you find them?
Well, actually, with the girl that plays Anita, Adriana Matoshi, I have worked with her in previous shorts, and I really love her acting. So she was the first to join the team, and then we brought the main actor Alban, and it was not. Actually, I never did casting for this film, only at the end for the small roles, smaller part, but these ones were also, all of the people involved in this film are also my friends, let's say, so I kind of knew their abilities and what they can do. So, but the surprise of, for our audience at least, was Gen Salih, who was the guy that plays the lover, because for him this was his debut film, because he's a musician and he never played in a film, not even in a short film or anything. This was his first role, so that was really surprising for our audience.
And he does it amazingly.
Yeah. Yeah. But the process, maybe this is important to say how I chose the actors. It was important for me to know that they understand the subject, that they are free, and that they are have this artistic soul inside. So these three all had those. So yeah, that was, I think.
Sounds like a lot of fun at work on the set.
It was.
Do you have any questions or comments on the film? You can say it in German, in English, in French.
In French also,
yeah.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations. I really enjoyed your film. One question, why did you make it in winter? Is there any special, deeper meaning I did not see yet?
Well, because in Kosovo the wedding season is not in the winter, it's in summer. So yeah, if you kind of decide to get married in winter, usually it's because you're pregnant or something's happening. Yeah. So that's why. Yeah. And also I really liked the idea, I love the idea to have this marriage in an atmosphere where there is nothing blooming and when everything almost is dead, just as the main characters somehow they're trying to kill their emotions. It was, for me, it had that symbolic, I think.
And there are these small details when Noel is leaving the car drunken and he's nearly slipping on the ice, but he doesn't fall. Yeah. I think that's a real cool symbol. Was that planned or?
Yes, okay. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was very hard for Noel to make it seem like, but yeah,
it worked. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Also auf Deutsch.
Ich habe eine Frage auf Albanisch.
Auf Albanisch, ja.
BESFORT nga portali BESFORT.de. Duke pas parasysh mentalitetit tonë në Kosovë, si është prit ky film Kosovë?
Can you translate the question or do I translate?
Okay, jam
so he's asking how was the film knowing the mentality in Kosovo, how was the film accepted in our country? So to answer this question, I have to go a little bit back in the history. So we started to make this film, we worked on this film for 5 years, first of all. And we started to make this in 2012. 1 year after we started to work on this film, there was an incident in Kosovo involving LGBT community. There was this magazine that did an issue on sex, on sexuality. And while they promoted this magazine, religious extremists came in the venue, and they were really violent and beat up some people there. So we were really kind of afraid that we might have similar fate to the others. But since then, a lot of things have happened and have changed for better, I think. And I know it now. I didn't know until we screened the film in Kosovo in January. The thing is that when we screened the film, before screening the film, we all had our plans how to escape from the city for a month or for some time, or take out the kids from school and go somewhere just until the waters are calm. But then nothing happened, actually. We didn't receive not even one threat message or anything. The film was shown in cinemas in Kosovo, and it was one of the most watched films in the Kosovo films. One of the most watched Kosovo films, and yeah, we were really surprised, and we didn't expect this at all. And let's say we were making kind of jokes between us. We were saying, yeah, well, even if something bad happens or anything, at least we have something to go outside of the country and ask for asylum. And now we cannot do that.
Okay, thank you.
And how was it about financing the film?
This film was financed by the state, actually.
Really?
Yes, by the film.
Did they read the script before?
Of course. But there are some really good changes that are happening in our country right now. One of them is also our film center that is changing the last 8 years or so. There is this new generation of people that are coming in film center and that are given a lot of money to a lot of different projects, and these people are really open. And now, compared to 8 years ago, with now, 8 years ago for us it was a dream to have one film shown at whatever film festival, and now we have a lot of films coming from Kosovo that are shown in festivals that are we say 8 category film festivals. So there's a big improvement on that. And also one fact, maybe it's interesting for Kosovo, is that the film center is giving money. The last years it's 50% to women filmmakers and 50% to the rest. And it's not because of some kind of quota, but it's just accidentally happening. But I think it's an interesting fact that it's not so, it's a bit rare, I think.
Yeah, in Germany there's a real movement to get near to that, but it's far, far away from that. I think it's at the moment 15 to 20% female filmmakers only. And
Kosovo, we know that.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear.
I think it's also because when you make feature films and films that take so long to make, and you have the funds are really small, and it's not something that you can live off. So I think men are more working on where the money is, and but it's good. We're happy because we're showing films and we're making films and we're doing stories. I know there are some great films that are about to come made by women in Kosovo, and I'm really happy. Yeah.
So cool. Is there a film school in Kosovo?
There is a film school, but the ones that are making films is not because of the film school, it's because of the film center. Yes.
Are there any other questions or comments? Yeah.
Did you ever contemplate giving another ending? Either having the wife learning about it or him changing his mind and going to France?
Question about another ending.
It was this ending we decided at the end. Actually, in the script, it was written, we had different ending.
Which one?
Well, in the script, after Beckham says goodbye to his lover, he goes back to his home where Anita opens the door and she's wearing something black, knowing that one of her parents was found, and he enters the home and closes the door. And for me, when I saw it in the editing, it didn't make sense because then we kind of didn't feel for the love of two guys, but we felt sorry for the girl, and we kind of started to blame Beckham for what he was doing. And because this is the first LGBT film from my country, it really didn't feel right to have that sort of ending and give people the possibility to say, now gay people are doing something, you know, I don't know. So it was, for me, it was really important to have, to end the film in this scene, because it made me feel that I wanted to see them together and to root for that. And I thought if I could give this to the audience, it's the best feeling maybe for the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked myself, would there have been a chance for them to live happily together? Either Anita and Beckham or Beckham and Noel? No, but I think no one of them can live in this combination happily.
No, because happiness would have been to have freedom, I think. That's what their happiness would have been. And even if Beckham went with Noel out to live somewhere else, he would still lose all of his family and everybody else. So it was very hard for him, I think, to find happiness.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Any other questions or comments?
Or say, oh, it's all right what you're doing?
Question about the freedom, which kind of...
Well, it depends. Freedom is when you're not, I think, afraid to be yourself, and that's what I mean. So I don't really know how to answer this one, but freedom to be yourself, I think, because he's not doing anything wrong. And for me, during the making of this movie and all those years that I've been thinking on this subject, it felt so wrong to know that I can walk in the street hand by hand with a person that I love, and they can never do that, you know. So yeah, that I think that is the freedom, just to be able to be normal as everybody.
I would like to add something that I really loved of your film. You already talked about it, the music. Please tell us about how you decided which kinds of music you put inside, and this wonderful Louis Armstrong scene, for example. How did that get on if Noel, or the actor of Noel, was a musician?
That was very interesting, actually. In the beginning, they had to do another song. We never actually decided really which song are they going to play together, and I kind of thought that it will come. And then one day we were going to shoot the next one, and I still didn't have the song. Which song are they going to play? And we went through the internet, through the database of songs that are free of author's right, and we found this one, but we were wrong. We were wrong. We understood that later. It cost us a lot, but I'm glad we did it, because I love this song. It's a song that I just love it, and I thought it was really good for them to play it. And as they Gens is musician, and Alban is also has a big musical background. So they just did it like they played for half an hour before shooting this, and then they did it. And also Gens didn't really know and never played this song earlier. And he was really scared to do it that fast, but I think it was for the film, because they were just playing it. We didn't need to have it like perfectly done. So yeah.
I think that's what you said at the beginning, that it seems like a documentary sometimes. It's authentic, I would say. That's what we always say, oh, can a film be authentic in a way? I think your film is, because when people are sitting together on the table at the dinner and everybody is talking, and how did you direct that? Did you just say, okay, say everything, what comes in your mind? Or
no, things were really written for this scene.
And say it parallelly,
yes, say it parallelly. Think about your dinners at home, because this is a normal dinner in Kosovo. If we invite you to come to us and have dinner with us, you will have something like that.
That sounds so great. If there are no more questions, then we say thank you so much for bringing this wonderful movie to us, to Frankfurt. Big applause, please, for Blerta.